We'll look on the different line options: outline, line style, distortion, cloning. Next, what we're going to look at the shader. The shader, it's allowed us to create textures or in specific placed on materials, normals, and based on the objects. So you'll notice also when we create outline, we have a save line style option. When we come to the shader, we have right here save shader option. So it's a little bit different from line. However, in some cases like hatch, it's will using our line that we define in outline to create this. So let's look through all of them. Null, first you'll notice it's have a default. We can use the original render or with a fill color. And this is kind of some simple way you can create like a blueprint. So we can go select and we can have our outline set maybe to the white color. And there we have it, our blueprint kind of selecting. So you can create this way with a null type. So all we can modify background color or use it original render if you want kind of tune line going. Okay, next we have a texture and we can upload up to 9 different texture and make moving between them. So let's, as example, we can go select and you can even select kind of like watercolor effect. And let's go click OK, and we can preload it and use it watercolor as a background textures. Okay, let me go to set right here so we can preview, and we can use it additional textures if we need it and preload all up to 9 textures we can use on a backdrop. Okay, and then next we have the tune type, and the tune is using cell shaded for based on the normals again on object sides right here or a lightness. And you can see currently we have 15 different grade and a smallness between of them, so it's applied. And in some cases you can see it's using object color to define those shades. So again, if we're going and we'll set only 3 shades right here, we'll have our 3 shades. Yeah. And let's go, for example, say smallness to 0, so it's sharp lines between them. We can go to higher 6, and you can manipulate, see which one using, and it's using on the lightness and normals, as I said before, to apply based on the regional materials from your subject. Let's go set back to 15. This is kind of nice model. If you want smaller, you can always increase. So again, we have it levels, we have it count. We can disable use the raw materials. So on this case, coloring with atmosphere and specular lighting will apply to those original materials, or we can use raw materials. In this case, it will atmosphere effect, decay or other coloring won't be taken in account when it's creating coloring. Okay, next we have a dot, and it's just simple. Let's create a simple dots on a screen. You can specify what color you want for the dot or you want for background. And so if you want like pen dot, let's go blue pen. We'll take on a white paper, maybe even, you know, just a little bit of white paper. We can have a dot too. So we can create kind of like this dot look, maybe even more. Let's go maybe 3 pop up. So we can see a little bit more dots, but we can create this dot kind of looking render again. The next we have a half tone, and this is applied in some cases offset printing almost look like. So we have the increasing size of white or decreasing size of the dots basing on a lighting. This is very common because it's old newspaper or newspaper printing was using this kind of half tone shader offset printing. So same, we have a different size of the pen, so we can go to quite a bit large scale, and you can see right here dot size is increasing. We can go smaller size. We can change the pen angle. Currently it's 45 degrees. We can go straight 90 degrees up and down, kind of like this, go straight up and down. We can have it different pen types, stripes or dots. So currently it's a dots. Let's go switch to stripes. and I'll just increase a little bit size so I can see better. You can see right here in some cases it's inching kind of can effect apply to this. We can also change color of the material, or we can specify with the parent and background color as we want to use it. So same things like with that. The hatch is the most sophisticated and probably most useful, more interesting effect you can do it. So as we enable, you can see we have a lot of different properties. We notice the small lines, how I said before, it is apply of your neon light wherever we're using. So for example, if you're using microfiber in your account, the small lines will apply to this effect. Okay, so we can, when you use it, it's well properties of the small line. Let's go back to round. Okay, and as well line strange and other ones, you can see how it's changing. Okay, so let's go look over all this object. You notice we have a stroke distribution, main stroke option. We have it also hatch type, thickness, colors. We have it cross strokes if you apply it, deviations, and opacity modifier when it's enabled. Okay, so first log to the object. When this line created, you can see right here it is, this lines is logged to the object. If we disable some of them, you'll notice right on an angle right here we have it on the edges, they kind of start going a little bit off or make it darker edges. So in this case the line can cross over. The next we have it break on the edges, so if we have a line going, it's detect edge and it's kind of discontinuous, so it's add this a little bit more lighter on the edge. This has worked well if you have it multi-stroke on the edges and you don't want kind of come to this area. You can enable log to object break to the edges. In this case you will have a little bit more cleaner the edge of the object. Okay, sky and ground, currently it's rendered ground and sky, so let's disable and we'll see we don't have any strokes now in the skies, and with the ground available it is no strokes, except right here we have our terrain, which is different object, does not apply as infinity ground, and in the case we have those strokes applied. Next we'll also have steps. In some cases notice right here how it's using 6 steps to create this line. So if we have a longer line and increasing amount of steps, for example 25, you'll notice how it will be much longer going lines. Okay, let me go there and let me actually just clear up those textures, remove them out. Okay, so let's go back here. You notice how longer lines is applied. So same if I create even 50 steps, now it's longer. Notice it is increased length of those lines and how they applied. So in some cases it's a little bit more pencil, almost strokes. Let's go back to 25 for now. Okay, and I want to disable break on line, so we have a little bit more light right here, and you can see on the line right there where it says break on the edges, we now have it kind of a little bit more coming up. Okay, edge preferences. So for example, if we add 15, and this is again, this is proper will apply when you work with a little bit more edge detection. Okay, and let's go reduce this to 5 so we can preview. That's when it's calculated and is going to the edge. So right here you can see it's a little bit more detecting on this. Okay, let's go disable our edge preferences. Okay, next option we have it main stroke, and here right here is applied by lightness. So we have it several ways. We have it uniform, which is calculating by normals, lighting, and other properties. Okay, we have it lightnings and by normals. If we select by lightnings, our options edit is enabled, where we can specify input range for our light detects and also output range. So for example, let's go with this 0.5. So we'll set as default and curve exponential 1. In some cases you can see it will detect, you don't see right here very much because they're simple shapes, but it will be take a in detection input range of the lightness 0 darker and half tone, and it will kind of increase output range for our input. So in some cases, think about mapping of the curve exponential, so it's how much it will modify it. Now we have a quantity modifier, so if we need to increase a bit more on strokes based on lighting, we can increase. And again, this way we can go by lighting, so it's increase lines in the darker areas to create a little bit more shadows. So let's go right here. We say output range, maybe let's go say 2-1. Okay, and based on this lighting, it will increase amount of the strokes, how many strokes will apply in darker areas versus light areas. We also can specify link range. So currently you can see we have 5 steps at short, and we can detect some of them. So if we want to apply more details to smaller, again we can reduce link range, for example 2, which is add quantity on those details right there, and we can also increase maximum range of the link as well. Let's go back to multiply 2 so we can preview that. Again, right here, let's go even set 0.2. So you'll notice right in this area we'll start having a bit more details, noise right here, versus 10. So you can see the more or less details kind of more longer applied. So it's again, this is main stroke and its detection. They work very well if you work with the type of line or line styles you're using for this. Okay, by the normals, again, it's take in calculation normals on your places, like for example with, and based on this detection, it will create a main stroke and also the multiplier based on this. In most cases, you probably want to use the uniform, which take in account lightness and normals.